Ora bem, děkuji.
My tricks? What on earth are you talking about? We just met for the first time. If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way.
Yes, he didn't approve of us last time, did he? If we're going to save our beloved, we'll have to be sneaky about it.
Our beloved? Yes, you'll have to be very sneaky about your intentions if you're going to try and save the princess.
Ah, so all of the cards are on the table. Then you should know that we and the princess are in love, and the four of us will be foiling any and all assassination attempts you've got in the works.
We'll see about that. Whatever you do, just be sure to ignore him specifically. It sounds like he's the sort who'd sacrifice the whole world for a peck on the cheek.
What can I say? A world without love is a world that isn't worth saving.
Those are two very different questions, but fine, I'll indulge you if that's what it takes to get you moving. Let's say for a moment that this really is the second time you've met me, or at least a version of me. You died last time, which probably only happened...
You were the one who did us in, villain.
Well, not you in the literal sense, but you did everything you could to stop us from rescuing her. Oh, I wonder why. Maybe it's because the entire world was at stake. No lone princess is worth that price.
I beg to differ.
I'm not going to argue with you. I'm just going to take a deep breath and assume that whoever is making the decisions here has the common sense to ignore your protestations. Anyway, I believe your second question was, what's the point of doing anything? If you're asking that, it sounds to me like you're making the rather dangerous assumption that your actions last time around didn't have any consequences. What do you mean? Of course there weren't any consequences. You forced the princess to kill us, and now everyone's right back where they started. That sounds pretty consequence-free to me. Yes, but in this purely hypothetical scenario, that begs the question of how you got back here. Did time simply rewind itself, or were you instead transported to a different world entirely? If it's the latter, what do you think happened after you died? Do you think the people there lived happily ever after? Or do you think that the princess, left unhindered, brought about the end to everyone and everything, just like I told you she would?
Hey you.
She would never. She's a perfect angel that you cruelly imprisoned as part of some convoluted, dastardly
How's it going?
scheme.
Stranger 42.
Convoluted. I don't know how this premise could be any more simple. Princess bad, stop her, save everyone. That's right, you can't stop all of us.
We're going to sweep her off her feet if it's the last thing anyone does.
Are these really the sorts of people you'd like to align yourself with? You're not at the cabin yet. You still have plenty of time to reflect on the situation.
Oh good.
I just hope for all our sakes that you make the right call. Just be quick about it.
She was even about to kill me. Acho que sabe better. Acho que para mim all the knife. She's better than the world.
People locked her in that basement, and I told you what this place is. It's a path in the woods. Don't overcomplicate things. She just can. Believe me, I wish I could tell you more, but you'll just have to trust that what I'm saying is true, and that, despite it all, you're fully up to the task that's been given to you.
Maybe it's her beauty that threatens the world.
Sure, it's her beauty. Why not? And before you ask, no, we can't just keep her down there. If you don't slay her, she's going to find a way out. It's unfortunate, I know, but it's just the way it is. I've told you everything you need to know. Going into more detail would just overcomplicate an otherwise very simple situation and make your job more difficult. Not to sound like a broken record, but the less you know about her, the better things will go for all of us. I know it sounds like I'm hiding something, but you're just going to have to take me at my word. Look, I'm not supposed to say this, but It's because
special.
you're special. You're the only person capable of doing this. Call it a prophecy, if that helps. But it's just the way things are. Oh, I didn't know we were special. Of course you're special. Why else would you be here?
Calling us special isn't going to make us friends, even if it did feel nice. Oh, believe me, the last thing I want is for you and I to be friends. But I'm a professional, and I'm not going to let my dislike for you get in the way of helping you save the world. Great. Now, if you don't mind, the whole world is waiting with bated breath for you to save it from ruin. A warning before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says. We already told you we're not playing along with your little game. It's your lies that can't be trusted. Her beauty is the only thing in the world we can believe in.
I think we've already been over this. I'm pretty sure he just likes the sound of his own voice.
I do, but I also speak from the heart. My passions are too great to be stifled. They must be expressed.
Sure, yeah, your passions are strong and all, but not everyone needs to hear them. Some things are better kept quiet. Don't pay their bickering any mind. Focus on the task ahead. The interior of the cabin is clean and elegant, its stone walls draped in fine-threaded tapestries. A prison befitting a royal prisoner.
Tá
The
diferente
only
isto.
furniture of note is an ornate wooden table with a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
This organizes time.
You walk up to the wall next to the basement door. It's a wall. There isn't much to see here. What are you talking about? This isn't a wall. It's a mirror. Or at least it'll be a mirror once we wipe off that layer of grime. You reach forward and rub your hand against the cabin wall. I hope you know how ridiculous you look right now. But there was a mirror a second ago.
And now it's gone. Pity. We could have a feather out of place and now we'll never know. We can't gallantly sweep her off her feet if we have a feather out of place.
Very different.
Is it? I can't say I was paying much attention to the scenery last time around.
Maybe that's because you haven't actually been here. I hope this means you'll finally drop that ridiculous past life nonsense. You haven't died, and you certainly haven't been killed by the princess. So focus up. Stop letting yourself get distracted. The door to the basement creaks open, revealing an intricate stairwell. Gold-trimmed carpet glimmers in the light of the torches positioned along the walls. The basement almost seems welcoming in the dim firelight, but it's still a stone basement. If the princess lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor. A soft voice carries up the stairs.
Hello? Is someone there?
Her voice. It's somehow even more beautiful than last time. I can hear wedding bells already.
I've held my tongue till now, but you're taking this a little too far. We barely even know the princess. We can still do right by her without all this over-the-top fawning. Yes, for everyone's sake, you're not in love. Just remember that her charms are all part of the manipulation. You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall.
My love, we're here to rescue you from your unjust and foul imprisonment.
You know she can't hear you, right?
She may not be able to hear my words, but surely she can hear my spirit.
Oh, your spirit's plenty loud, all right.
It's you, my dashing hero. I was so worried you wouldn't come back.
Did you hear that? She said we're dashing.
And she called us a hero. Flattery really goes a long way with the two of you, doesn't it? Waiting for you to come back. I I didn't want to believe your ravings back in the woods, but this is next to incontrovertible evidence. You've been here before.
That's right, villain. And you killed us.
Well, she killed us.
Only because he made us try and kill her. It was self-defense. Our beloved's hands remain unstained by cruelty.
And you've died before. So an entire world has been damned to oblivion. I'd really hoped I'd be the first, but what's done is done. What matters is you have a chance to do it right this time. Now, hold on. If she actually ended a world, are you sure we want to do this? Are you sure we want to rescue her?
Give me last 10 minutes or so what I did that. Didn't really nice to have to carry you to have cut you out again. Rapid after this. Escalated the event the world is also gone. Sorry, what was the last time that sent me to go, yeah. Rapid after
You
this.
died, and now we're talking.
What the fuck? Bro. You can.
I'm sorry. Didn't you want me to?
Did we?
We warned her of the cruel forces seizing our body. That's practically telling her to kill us. She is our beloved, and she made the choice to free us of our misery, to show us mercy and make the best decision for everyone.
She made the best decision for her. Don't be so quick to assign kindness. You're just opening yourself up to manipulation.
Did you really just cut you out again?
I don't know. Was I supposed to have ended the world? Would that have made you happy?
Isn't that just like our darling princess? She wants to make us happy. My heart melts further with every word that passes through her beautiful lips.
Are you listening to her? That's a confession.
No, I don't know that ends. I have no feelings one way or the other about all that. Honestly, the world sucks. People are begging people. What does one back over so often?
Then I didn't end the world.
See? She didn't confess anything. She is innocence itself.
I'm not so sure. If another version of me was pushed to such drastic action, it was for good reason.
That's okay. You were just doing your best, and that's all that matters.
She took that in stride. To a surprising extent. An almost unsettling extent, actually.
That's because she's perfect.
Do you think she has someone like him telling her what to do? She doesn't. There's no one else like me.
I think he's right, because I like it better if she doesn't have some horrid little voice like him, always trying to drive her to violence.
I'm okay with whatever you come up with. You can cut my arm off again.
We won't be laying a finger on her perfect wrists, and indeed, we won't even have to. Do you see how dainty her hands are? We'll be able to slip her right out with no harm done.
What? No, she's a prisoner here. You can't just slip her hand through the chains. Why are you two arguing over the logistics of slipping her hand out of her shackles? She just said she'd be okay with any idea we came up with. Am I the only one here who thinks that's weird?
She didn't care last time. Why should she care this time? That's our stoic, smiling angel.
No, you're right. It's extremely bizarre behavior and further evidence that she's a monster who's not to be trusted. So go ahead and slay her. No, I can't let you do that. If you take another step towards the princess, I'll...
You'll what? Take over our body and force us to try and kill her?
I would if you had a weapon.
Not on my watch, villain. My passions contain titanic depths, and if you try anything that might harm our dearest, I will end our life without a second thought.
You wouldn't.
I would.
I'd listen to him if I were you. He has a lot of strong feelings. And doesn't the world end if we don't stop her? You approach the princess and gingerly slide her hand from her bindings. That shouldn't have worked. I'll be damned. We're doomed. I can't believe it. But I guess I have to.
I told you, there's no life more worth living than that of a true believer.
I'm free, and you're not trying to kill me this time. Thank you. Thank you so much.
The princess jumps up and smothers you in a joyful embrace. If only you had a weapon, one slip of the wrist and your pristine blade would be buried in her back, and everyone out there would be saved. Luckily for Mr. Romance, we don't have a weapon.
Who needs a weapon when we have the power of love on our side?
What do we do now?
We want to do. We have our wives.
Let me guess. End the world?
Spoken with the rank cynicism of someone who has never felt love in his heart.
I don't actually know. Nobody's ever asked me what I wanted before. I mean, you sort of did last time, but this is different.
She doesn't even know what she wants. You may have had her all wrong. What if this whole thing is just a misunderstanding? What if she doesn't want to end the world? You're so gullible. Is the only thing you've ever doubted the actual truth?
I think I want to leave, and I think...
The princess closes her eyes in deep reflection, and then she shrugs.
I don't know. What do you want to do?
I want to tell you to tell me what you want. What you want. What you want the world. What you want to do.
I just want to make you happy.
She can't just want to make us happy. It makes sense to me. That's all I want for her, so of course...
I don't trust this shit, man. Tell me what you want.
I just want to make you happy.
Oh god.
Broken? What's going on? What's going on is she's lying to you, only she isn't a good liar. Are you starting to trust me now?
Yeah, bruh, I don't fuck with this, man. You have to want something more than just make me happy. But you need your own thing, you just, man.
Okay, I'll find something else to want if that makes you happy.
What the fuck is going on?
This isn't right. I don't know what's going on, but this isn't right.
I fail to see the problem here. She's just sweet on us. You don't have to act like it's a big deal.
Okay, clearly something is happening and I'm very scared through. Just don't do anything, whatever. Just stay and nobody gets this. Figure out together.
Oh, is that really what you want? If you think that would make you happy, then...
Her eyes dart uncomfortably to the corners of the room.
I guess we could do that.
Well, at least she's normal again.
Normal again? Can't you tell she's sad? She's distraught. But she can't be unhappy about staying with us. Can she?
No, it has to be him. It has to be this place. If we just made these walls more fitting for a princess, if we just say the right things, if we just showed her the contents of our heart, she'd be happy here. As the voice thinks its thought, your hands raise, fingers pointing towards your chest, and then... What? No, you absolutely do not do that.
Oh, but I do.
What? What is he doing? We can't see unless you tell us. Are you sure you want to know? I suppose I can't stall forever. You plunge your nails into your chest, digging deep, grasping for a handhold. And you find it.
Oh no! What are you doing?
That's a matter.
Are you okay? You can't do that and be okay.
Time out. He should not be allowed to do that. He's not the decider. And yet, it's done, isn't it? It will be soon. You yank violently, your bones cracking with wet pops as you pull yourself apart, inch by painful inch. Your exposed heart, framed by jagged ribs, thumps rhythmically in your raw, bloodied chest. The loosened shreds of your body unfurling to cover the surface of the room. Don't mind my sacrifice. It's a fair price to pay to give her everything she doesn't know she wants.
Oh, I see. You're trying to tell me something. It's beautiful.
The princess...
The fuck you mean it's beautiful? What?
...reaches towards your beating heart and then everything goes dark and we die? Yes.
Ok, isto é epílogo agora.
You're on a path in the woods. Mate, we're clearly already in the cabin. Excuse me? You're clearly... Oh. Huh. So you are. How do you know about the cabin? I didn't get to the cabin part of my opening monologue yet. We've been here before. Well, not here, but I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. You knew about the loop-in last time. Not that he was eager to divulge that. Right on cue, here's the new guy. Welcome! Can't say I'm happy to be here. Okay, yes, I get it. You've been here before. That's terrible. You know that, right? Because the only reason you would have been here before is if you failed in whatever world you'd come from. Meaning you doomed an entire other reality. But I'm sure since you're so well-travelled, you know that, yes?
The first time the first, like, playthrough, I guess, of the story. In the chapter 2 it was like a tower, supposedly. It was even bigger than this, I think.
We know that you keep telling us that, but we've never seen a world end. As far as I'm concerned, that whole conversation is just noise. And I'm stuck on a better question. Where's the other one? The other one? Yeah, a certain lovesick fool has been suspiciously quiet. One might even say, absent. Oh, you're right. It's a little quiet here, isn't it? Maybe that's one of the rules. Maybe only one bonus voice is allowed to be here at a time. Bonus voice? I'm just as important as you are. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. All I'm saying is that it's my third time here and it's your first. You're not unwelcome, but from my perspective, you're definitely bonus. I'm going to describe the room now. The interior of the cabin is vast and regal. High arched windows line the walls, their multicolored glass casting kaleidoscopic patterns across the stone floor. An iron chandelier hangs from the vaulted ceiling, its many candles lit with flickering light, vaguely illuminating the massive room. This is a house fit for royalty. Before you, there isn't a blade, is there? That's not good.
This move was the time before that choose goes, so if you were...
I see your point, but it's still an option that's been taken away from us. I don't like losing options. Yes, and it's an important one. It's your implement. You're going to need it if you want to do this right. And the fact that you're here right now, again, means that you have not yet done this right. But it's not there, is it? We don't even get the choice. So, what are we supposed to do? I don't actually know. I'm sure it'll turn up somewhere. It has to. It's part of the whole structure of this place, I think. At the very least, it's important. Oh, I see it. I've just been preoccupied with everything else going on. Like the fact that we can rip our own heart out without deciding that's what we're going to do. Is that what happened to you last time? How did that even work? You better not do it again. Lucky for you, the one who did it is the one who's gone. Wonderful. Moving on, I have no idea what you're talking about. There is no mirror. There's only the stained glass windows, the empty table where your blade should be, and the door to the basement. You said that last time too, but that hasn't stopped it from showing up again. Or moving. Mirror or no mirror, the door to the basement, your only way forward, is just on the other side of the room. How about you walk over there? You cross the room, stopping just in front of the door to the basement. What is this about that supposed mirror? Just reach forward and fumble around a bit. I'm sure you'll find the handle. Well, shall we have a look at ourselves? Maybe it won't go away this time. You reach forward, your hand instinctively wrapping around the handle. Figures. And then you push the door open. Marvellous. We can proceed. It would seem that the stairs to the basement don't lead to a basement at all. Rather, they go up. They're draped in fine carpets too, one that feels pleasantly soft against your feet. If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably... no, that doesn't work here at all. This place is nice. It's fancy, even. I have to say, whatever you did in your previous lives, I deeply dislike how much it's thrown me off my rhythm. Well, if all of this has thrown you off your rhythm so much, then maybe we don't have to slay the princess. No, you absolutely do. Just because she lives in a nice house doesn't mean she doesn't pose a direct threat to all of reality. It's in her very nature.
Am I the only one who remembers how much she changed last time? Does she even have a nature?
That is precisely why she poses a threat. I don't know, she got weird for a second, yeah, but she didn't change that. We have to move on. This is a wildly dangerous line of reasoning. No, you can't just say that and not... Her voice, gentle and warm, with an undercurrent of fatigue, rolls down the stairs.
You're home. Dinner's ready.
As much as I desperately want to know what happened last time, we are not going to examine it. The more we think, the worse this gets. Why are you so on edge? This is much nicer than what we're used to. I'd like to have dinner. Dinner sounds nice. That is the problem. This isn't supposed to be nice, and she's supposed to be a prisoner. I need to stop talking. I need to stop talking. Just go upstairs, okay?
And don't eat the food.
This hall, like the one below, is grand and beautiful. Torches bathe the room in warm, comforting light, just enough to illuminate the tapestries along every wall, woven with scenes of chivalry and courtship and romance. The many cloth eyes are fixed on each other, gazes averted from the long table in the centre of the room. The princess, seated at its far end. Your pristine blade glints in the weak torchlight, hanging from a golden chain around the princess's neck. So that's where it is. And the tip is already pointed right at her heart. Okay, everything is falling back into place. All you have to do is cross the room, push down a little, and the entire world is saved. That's easy.
Isn't that suspiciously easy? There has to be a twist. There has to be something waiting for us. You saw what happened to her last time. She's not what she seems.
You're here. Now we can start being happy together. Why don't you sit down? Wouldn't that be nice?
As the words leave her mouth, the torches flare and a chair swings in from behind, knocking your legs out from under you. You're forcibly seated at the head of the table.
Isn't that better? It is better, right?
What are we supposed to do now? You mentioned dinner on the stairs.
It's our happy ending, just like you asked for. It's everything we're supposed to have ever wanted. Oh, right, dinner. I'd totally forgotten about it.
The flames burn bright and a shadow dives across the table. In its wake, it leaves a feast.
Go ahead and dig in. I'm sure you're hungry.
Remember what I said.
Oh, but it looks so amazing, and after everything we've been through, we could really use a break. Are you sure we need to be so concerned?
I'm not sure about anything, and that's the problem.
For what it's worth, I generally don't think one should trust strange food that magically appears on a table. But nothing here is exactly what I expect it to be, so make of that what you will.
Sure, I'll dig in.
You begin to feast, and the princess follows suit, her soft smile never fading. The food is more exquisite than you ever could have imagined. You sample countless otherworldly dishes, sauces and bread and hearty stews whose tastes dance across your tongue. You tear at hunks of meat practically melting from the bone, juicy and tender and bursting with flavors you could scarcely begin to describe. Your cup fills itself again and again with a flowery nectar so sweet it tastes like glimmering jewels. This really is perfect, isn't it? It is the best meal you've ever had. But then it's over, and you're just as hungry as when you began.
Wasn't that perfect? We should do it again.
The shadow washes across the table,
Oh, vai comer-me.
clearing and replating.
She's gonna eat me.
The feast is once again
100%.
laid before you. The food is good. Again, you tear into golden crispy flesh, dab at the slurry of aromatic sauces on your plate with thick crusted bread, sip your goblet of sparkling gems. But you have done this already. And then it's over. And you're just as hungry as when you began.
You're still hungry too, right? I know this wasn't as good as it was last time, but we just have to do it again. That's all. It'll be perfect if we just do it again.
So the shadow sweeps over the table, clearing the old and laying out the new. And so you do it again. The meat is fine, the bread is fine. You sample the side dishes and they're fine too. You finish your goblet, the liquid within no longer glimmering on your palate, instead leaving your mouth coated in a tacky film. You put it down and it fills again. You do not drink more. So we had a mediocre meal. It's not a big deal.
That's the trap. It wasn't mediocre at first. It's trending down.
We're just getting a little sick of it. So what? We just have to try something new. I'm sure we won't be stuck eating the same meal forever. Regardless of quality, it's over again, and you're just as hungry as when you began. Again.
No, something was wrong that time. But maybe I was just tasting it wrong. It looks just as good as it did the first time. It shouldn't taste like this.
Again, the shadow replaces your feast. And again you eat. The meat is greasy. The bread is tough, its crust hurting your jaw as you chew. The grey vegetables are barely worth the effort of picking through. You don't even touch the goblet, its sickly sweet aroma utterly unappealing. I'm so tired of eating. At least you still have the memory of how good it was the first time, right?
I'm so tired of this.
As the words leave her mouth, one of the torches on the wall sputters and then goes out entirely.
What just happened? Did I do something wrong?
A light went out. Maybe a coincidence, but maybe not.
As if in response to the dousing of their brother, the other three torches blaze brighter, their flames licking at the walls. Their shadows deepen, dancing angrily across the stone.
Something back to the spot. I don't think you did anything wrong. I think you just said something. What about it? Still open the voice. Well, we ate. This was
I don't know. Maybe we could play a game. Yeah, that's exactly what we should do.
The flames roar and the shadow comes dancing across the table. It leaves behind an intricate game. Its pieces elegant and beautiful and enticing, its simple rules already apparent, even with little explanation.
We can probably work together to figure this out as we go. That sounds like a lot of fun, right?
Yet another waste of time. Why all the distractions? What are we being distracted from? That's the real game. And I feel like I'm 2 steps behind.
You're overthinking it, mate. I feel like this is just something to do. We might as well try to have some fun. You and the princess do indeed figure it out as you go. And what a game it is. The tension between turns, the triumphant highs of moves well placed, and the tragic lows of miscalculations and careless plays. The warmth of trust and the cool texture of deception. And then, the climax, as she places her final piece.
Oh, I think we got the rules wrong.
And so you start over. Time passes. You play the game. You win. Hey! Will you look at that?
Oh, you won. I guess we can play again.
Time passes. You play the game. She wins.
Oh, I won. I guess we can play again.
There is a long pause, and the board does not reset.
This isn't fun anymore, is it?
It's never going to stay fun. You don't need me to tell you that it isn't. Oh. The princess visibly panics as another torch sputters.
Wait. Maybe this is just too easy. Maybe if we added more rules and pieces, it would be fun again.
Yeah. The game's just a little simple. We can make it fun again. The shadow descends on the board once again. More pieces are added, their shapes more intricate, their purposes less immediately clear, and the two of you set about discovering the complexities of the game anew. And so you do. And it is fun again. In fact, it's almost as fun as the first time you played, and the sputtering torch roars back to life. But then you get used to the additions, and the feeling starts to fade. A creeping numbness settling in over the board. More pieces are added. The feelings flare. The feelings fade. The princess suggests new rules. A glimmer of what could have been excitement flits through your mind, quickly vanishing as the game progresses. Your pieces advance in an ever-increasing slog to their destination. Winning and losing become nothing but ends, and even the end becomes nothing as you roll over into a new game, the board resetting as many times as you can finish, till finally...
I'm out of ideas. I'm actually out of ideas this time. I don't think I can play anymore.
As the words leave the princess's mouth, another torch goes out. Again, the remaining flames burn brighter, and the shadow dances faster.
I'm happy. I promise. We're both so happy here. You don't have to be upset.
This is... awful.
It's him, isn't it? He's making all of this happen. He's the one who's trapped us here.
Who?
The lovesick one, the one from last time. He's not
Just
gone.
identity.
He's just with her now. He's the shadow.
Okay, smitten.
Smitten?
The torches flare and the shadow grows for a moment, but you don't receive a response.
No, I saw him smile. That's him.
Regardless, it would seem that he, if there is a he, isn't something you can talk to.
Oh, you're talking to the shadow, aren't you?
She guessed that right away. She knows what's going on here. I knew it.
He's the voice that whispers sweet nothings in my ear. I think he made this place for us.
I was right, wasn't I? I can't believe I was actually right. It is him. This is what he became after ripping us open.
Okay, so it's
The princess starts to hyperventilate, her quick breaths punctuating the uncomfortable silence between you.
Yes! Why wouldn't I be? Let's not talk about it.
This is just in it to tell me.
I don't feel anything.
The third torch sputters out. The princess's shadow dances furiously against the far wall.
There's just one left. What's going to happen when it goes out?
The reference. The reference. If you could do anything in the world, what would you? Rather the shadow.
I think I'd like to dance under the stars.
sounds lovely.
But there aren't any stars here. I'd have to leave.
As she says that, the shadow rushes forward and tightens its grip on her wrists.
I'm not happy here. I don't think I ever was.
Oh boy.
The princess sobs, burying her face in her hands as the final torch blows out.
I feel empty. What's... Very crying, very okay. What this sucks. Nothing's changed, we're just sitting in the dark. So I feel like... What is my...
She raises her head, mascara trailing down her cheeks.
I don't know. It feels like an important part of me is gone, but I'm still here. I don't know what to do with that. I don't know how I'm supposed to pick up the pieces.
The princess's eyes dart to the floor.
Well, we can't sit here forever. That part of us is over.
The princess pushes herself from her chair, and you instinctively do the same, waiting by the top of the stairs as she quietly crosses the room.
Do you still care about me?
Cause I don't think I'll stop. Whatever we add with it doesn't grow. And if I ever have, maybe I can know. Not sure if I ever had a chance.
That's a nice thought. I think this place was bad for us. It was keeping us small. I think it's time for us to go.
As the princess steps towards the stairs, you offer her your hand. The corners of her mouth curl into a demure smile, and she gently takes your hand in hers. She's cold, a little clammy, but her skin against yours is the most real thing you have ever felt. You're offering surprisingly little resistance. If we leave the cabin, doesn't that end the world?
It does if he's telling the truth.
Yes, well, I've seen my fairy tale ending, and I think there might be worse things than the end of the world.
It really was just all meaningless blather then, wasn't it?
Think what you will. I'm done fighting. You and the princess don't exchange words as you descend the stairs to the cabin's entrance. And then the two of you step out into the world. I think this is the end of me, even if it's not the end of you. I hope this was worth it. Genuinely, I do. He's really gone, isn't he?
Yeah. There's an itching in the back of my head that feels like it's finally been scratched. No more shadowy figures yanking at our strings. No more strings. I guess we're free.
The stars are so beautiful.
Quiet moment passes over you. Comfortable quiet.
I meant it when I said I wanted to dance.
She gently pulls her forward and two of you fall into a graceful step. The only rhythm that guides you is the shared thumping of your hearts, beating in perfect unison. Her face, worn and tired, brightens the faster you move, a soft sad smile, widening and widening until it reflects only a genuine affection. You send her out in a wide spin, and your arms stretch to their limits. Only the tenuous grasp of your hand in hers holding you together. You share a gaze that feels like it lasts forever.
Thank you for taking me here. This is nice, even if it's a little cold outside.
It's the fucking ends again. Should I dance with your happy ending? You did not get a chance to respond, nor will you ever. It's time to leave.
She's gone. Where did she go? Should we try and find her? And is that a mirror? Why is it here? Why now?
Of course, I'm scared this is the end for you, but it's not the end for me. It's going to be okay, just trust me. Been here before and you always let
But it feels so bad. Like looking into it right now is going to be the end of everything.
You're right. Part of me wants the truth, but something stronger is holding me back. Fear.
So at the end was something this would be nice. I'll see you on the other side. Let's be okay.
Okay. If you say so. We'll trust you.
Feels too good to be true.
Approach the mirror. You approach the mirror because it's a reflection. Sounds as you reach forward. They're gone once again. Your voice makes them wave, but you need to see what's in it. You bolt, you grow. If you find yourself in the one quiet once again, sit at the cabin. You are at the cabin, not sure.
When I found you in the long quiet alone, I was terrified. What if you had decided to let me wither? But your commitment now is final. Your ability to walk the path of mutual annihilation is vanished with your return. If you still wish to obliterate me, it will have to wait until I am complete. Flickering lights in empty cityscapes become pockets of vitality and movement. I am more than I was before. Whenever you are ready, I will wipe your slate clean once again.
Isto é tipo o reset. I do something. Are you the same being as you were before? What is about to change? Is it when this all this? They're at the end of this to finish with good right. I go why can I not do the sentence as before? Why can I not do this? Caralho, isto é tanta coisa. Remember verses I need to bring to you.
If I am to be an ocean, you have nurtured me into a pond. My waters are shallow and murky, and I yearn for more perspective. You will have your rest in due time, and I am sorry for the burdens I place on you. This one is a songbird in a cage of gilded shadows. She will make for an honest heart. Do not mourn her. She has finally learned to sing for herself. I'm sorry. Words are difficult for me. I never fully weave what I wish to say. If you do not like my answers, then you need not ask me questions. The vessels you choose to bring me carry far more meaning than anything words could say in the spaces between. With every gift you bring me, I excavate the alleys of what I am meant to be, and every exploration yields new and complicated truths. What I will be is different than what I am, and what I am is different from what I was. I cannot tell you what desires I will hold when I have changed. But in this moment, all I want is to know myself and to know you. Why wouldn't I be kind to you? You are the only thing I know that isn't me. Gifts aren't what someone tells you to bring them. My joy is in seeing what you choose. There are no wrong answers, and every perspective illuminates my shadows and shares new secrets.
Attack the instance server. Let's go back.
I will long for your return, but it will give me time to reflect on what I am. We will meet again.
I think I'll start a new day. Chapter 1. Yep.
path.
Blah blah blah, cabin in the woods. Wait, pera. Eu que cena that may be the only. No, good business. Let's not do this.
Don't mention it. It's all part of the job.
Okay.
You make your way up the short path to the cabin. A warning before you go.
Yeah, shit,
We're not going to go
Spavo.
through with this, right? She's a prince. Ignore him. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Set the cabin.
The interior of the cabin is almost entirely bare. The air is stale and musty, and the floor and walls are painted in a fine layer of dust. The only furniture of note is a plain wooden table. Perched on that table is a pristine blade. The blade is your implement.
Beep 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 beep. Take that with.
You take the blade from the table. It'd be rather difficult to slay the princess and save the world without it.
Enter the basement.
The door to the basement creaks open. Her voice.
Who's there?
She sounds dangerous. Don't let it fool you. It's all part of the minute.
Hi.
Don't be a stranger. It's been so long since I've had any visitors. Come on down.
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around. She's so coldly beautiful. Focus on the task at hand.
And there you are. Are you here to kill me or something?
What? No way. How is everything that? Okay, I gotta. Just start to talk.
Then why did you bring a knife with you? How about you drop it, and then we can chat?
She makes a compelling point. What if we just dropped the blade and talked? Look at her. It's not like she's a threat. Don't you dare. It's fine. We can decide what we want to do after we talk to her. Maybe she really is a monster. But killing someone in cold blood isn't very becoming of us.
Drop it.
The blade tumbles out of your trembling hands and drops to the floor with an unceremonious clack.
Thank you. Maybe now we can just talk.
Against your better judgment, you step forward to speak with the princess face to face. Unarmed. We'll be fine. I don't know what you're hoping to accomplish here, but I can assure you there's no reasoning with her. Just make sure you don't forget about the blade on the floor. You're going to need it.
So here we are. What an awkward start to a relationship.
It's a awkward relationship. Yeah, I guess that's true.
Don't jump to any weird conclusions. We're two people who have met each other. By definition, we have a relationship.
Oh, they get you out of here.
You can't. Don't bother.
I'm guessing you don't have the key then. I'm sure there's a key somewhere around here, and if there isn't, well, we can always put that knife to good use.
Her sharp eyes settle on the edge of the blade. She isn't suggesting what I think she's suggesting, right? She is. I'm sure of it.
Do you?
No.
You're lying.
Hey, what's up?
Does she know that?
Bullshit.
Don't think that just because I'm the one in chains, it means you have a right to interrogate me.
She hesitates before answering.
You can address me as Your Royal Highness, or Her Majesty. Any honorific should do, really.
Note the lack of detail. You can't trust her.
I'm gonna be done.
Too long.
Again, she offers no specifics. No matter how hard you try, you'll never get a straight answer out of her.
Oh, have you decided what to do with me?
You know why you're here.
I'm getting you out of here, examine the chains. I'm going to keep few walks away from yeah. Can get to know each other with the side.
That seems like a pretty good compromise. Leaving her alive is too risky. If you don't deal with her soon, she will find a way out.
One way or another, I'm going to find a way out of here. You can make it easier for both of us if you help. And if you don't, I can promise that you'll come to regret that decision.
You have to make a choice. Let's hope for all our sakes it's the right one.
I'm walking around the basement.
I know you think this is a fair compromise, but it isn't. No one wins here. It's a chance we'll have to take. We can make this work. If we just stay here and keep watch, no one has to die.
You're making a mistake.
You turn your back to the princess and make your way to the stairs.
It won't be long before I slip these chains. And once I'm out of here, there will be hell to pay for leaving me behind.
Slip these chains? She can't, right? She needed our help to get out of here. Do you hear the conviction in her voice? I don't think she's bluffing. Either way, she dropped her mask, didn't she? You can still turn around and finish the job. You'll be the death of all of us, but fine. Have it your way. You close the basement door, locking it behind you and quickly barricading it with the heavy wooden table that once held the blade. Okay, we can make this work. You settle in against the far wall to watch the basement door. It isn't long before you start to drift off, your eyelids heavy with fatigue. But sleep doesn't come. Instead, your rest is broken by a piercing, wailing voice calling out to you from the other side of the door.
I know you're still there. Why don't you make things easier on yourself and let me out? It's not like this little door will hold for very long anyways. It's probably a good idea to try to get back on my good side.
She sounds terrifying. Like she's less of the princess you saw and more like something out of a nightmare. As she violently rattles the door, you do your best to shut her out of your mind.
When I get out of here, I'm going to pick you apart piece by piece. I won't forget what you did, and I'll never forgive it. You don't know the kind of enemy you've made tonight.
It doesn't sound like she's getting any weaker. No, it doesn't.
Do you know you want to go to consciousness? So all of that was just that wasn't it? That very innocent rose. That would be so awesome.
I can be innocent and harmless if I want to be. Teasing me with fresh air and a chance to finally live freely doesn't inspire me to play nice.
You put the princess's threats out of your mind as best you can and huddle up against the wall. You jolt awake in the middle of the night to silence in the cabin. The ruckus has stopped, and the door to the basement is ajar, its lock broken, and the table shoved out of the way. Where is she?
Thanks for helping me
Oh
get out
boy.
of that awful basement.
You try and stumble to your feet, but as the princess draws near, it's as though your body simply stops working. It isn't all at once. The paralysis comes in waves. First your toes go numb, and then your feet, and then your legs. You lie prone on the floor of the cabin, unable to do anything but witness her approach. Whose side are you on? Yours, of course. But I have a duty to uphold the truth. Lying about the facts of the situation doesn't change them.
So helpless. I can take my time with you, can't I?
She steps closer, one silent footfall at a time, cocking her head in curiosity as you feel your organs shutting down one by one.
Or maybe I can't take my time with you. You don't look well. A little green around the gills. What a shame. If you'd only help me get out of here, we could have done such wonderful things together.
Your lungs stop drawing in breath, and your heart freezes in your chest. You have seconds left.
I'd say better luck next time. But we both know this is the end, don't we?
It can't be. This can't actually be how everything ends. I'm sorry, but it is. Everything goes dark,
And you die.
and you die.
The nightmare. Oh boy.
You're on a path in the woods. You're here to slay her. I can assure you that you're not dead. And to answer your second question, you're here to slay the princess. I literally told you that a second ago. If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way. Shh. What if he hears us? That's a very good question, little voice. What if he does hear you? Shit. I think you'll find yourselves very hard-pressed to keep any secrets from me. Not that it matters right now, because like I said, this is the first time we've met. Still, I'd rather not get off on the wrong foot. We've a world to save after all.
I'm doing this with
Those are two very different questions, but fine, I'll indulge you if that's what it takes to get you moving. Let's say for a moment that this really is the second time you've met me, or at least a version of me. You died last time, which probably only happened because you didn't listen to me. We couldn't trust either of you, and as far as I'm concerned, we still can't. All we did was lock her away. And how'd that work out for you? No comment. Well then, congratulations. You've been given another chance to actually do this right. And your solution is to send us back in there. Do you want us to slay the princess? Or do you want the princess to slay us? Obviously, I want you to slay her. One of you poses a threat to the world, and the other doesn't. Anyways, I believe your other question was something along the lines of, what's the point of doing anything? If you're asking that, it sounds to me like you're making the rather dangerous assumption that your actions last time around didn't have any consequences. What do you mean? Of course there weren't any consequences. We were killed by the princess, and now everyone's right back where they started. Sounds pretty consequence-free to me. Speak for yourself. From my perspective, there were plenty of consequences. I'm never going to forget the way she just made us stop working. And that's only scratching the surface. If what you said is true, it begs the question of how you got back here. Did time simply rewind itself, or have you found yourself in another world altogether? If it's the latter, what do you think happened after you died? Do you think the people there lived happily ever after? Or do you think that the princess, left unhindered, brought about the end to everyone and everything, just like I told you she would? If she brought an end to everything and everyone, how are we supposed to stop her? What do you want from us? I want you to succeed. You'll find a way. You're the only one who can. Just be quick about it.
just being around in the end, shut on about what am I supposed to do about that? Because from last time she's princess, how can you
She is just a princess. Whatever you think happened to you last time, just get it out of your head before you get to the cabin, and you'll be fine. People locked her in that basement.
just deal with this.
Like I said, if she killed you, it was probably because you didn't listen to me. Don't talk to her, don't trust her, just go in, do your job, and save the world. Look, I'm not.
Yeah,
You can't
special.
just goad us into doing something by calling us special. It's manipulative. Why are you trying to manipulate us? I don't know, I kinda like being special. Okay, fine. Maybe you can goad him into doing something, but he's not even the one who makes the decisions here. I'm not goading you into doing anything. You already know the princess is dangerous. All I'm trying to say is that you have to be the one to deal with her. And for what it's worth, I know you have it in you to finish the job. We don't. You saw what happened to us last time. We need to leave. Great. Now, if you don't mind, the whole world is waiting with bated breath for you to save it from ruin. A warning. She will lie. I don't think lying and cheating is her thing. She was very direct with us last time. Or at least, she was direct with us after we decided to lock her away. It doesn't matter. Don't trust anyone. The interior of the cabin is plain.
Oh
The
hell
smooth
no,
wood of the
brother.
walls almost featureless. The only furniture of note is a lone table, knocked on its side in the corner of the room. A pristine blade stands between you and the open, inviting basement doorway. The blade is your implement. You'll... Hold on. What happened to the door? There was a door here last time. It's just an empty frame. She's already got an out, hasn't she? And she's ready for us. She's been waiting. Can't you feel her eyes on us? I'm going to need all of you to pull yourselves together. The princess has not already gotten out. But if you keep getting stuck in your head like this, you're going to struggle to get the job done. So deep breath in, deep breath out. Your task awaits, and only you can do it. You reach down and pick the blade up off the floor. It would be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon. Good. Steel can't lie to us. Is it gonna be enough, though? Couldn't you have given us something else? Something, I don't know, better than a knife? Could we have a bomb? The blade is the only thing you need to finish your task. You're more than capable of pulling this off, so long as you don't lose faith in yourself. Those are the words of someone who knows he's sending us to our death. Very different. I'm not the only one who sees her in the window, right?
Yeah.
Calm down.
What the fuck?
Maybe the three of you just think everything is different because you haven't been here before. Enough of this
Volta na
past
janela,
life
já tinha
nonsense. You
visto.
haven't died, you certainly haven't been killed by the princess. So focus up. A lot's riding on this. You're right. I was so stuck on the eyes watching us that I didn't even notice it there. What are you two talking about? There isn't a mirror. There's a table, the blade sitting on the floor, and the open doorway leading to the basement. There's nothing else in here. There's definitely a mirror. There isn't. We have to look at it. Unless that's what he wants us to do. And pretending it isn't there is a trick to get us to do exactly what he wants.
Vad would you wear about there not being a mirror? Skulle det vara spot.
Exactly. Why would I lie about something so meaningless? What good would a mirror even do? That you waste time preening yourself instead of doing what needs to be done.
Oh god.
Walk up to the wall next to the empty basement door frame. It's a wall. There isn't much to see here. This really isn't funny. You reach forward and rub your hand against the cabin wall. I hope you know how ridiculous you look. Did he make it go away? Clearly there was something in there worth investigating if he wants it hidden so bad. You cross over the threshold and onto a series of isolated steps, suspended in darkness. More eyes, too. You never mentioned the eyes. The air seeping up from below reminds you of fresh lightning and static, as if you're descending into a place that isn't meant for a creature of flesh and blood. If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably be doing her a favor. Her cruel and playful voice prances up the stairs.
I didn't think you'd come back. We're gonna have a lot of fun, you and I.
Okay, we need a game plan. Last time we were here, just being close to her was enough to kill us.
Or this is the true knife.
It can't be that hard, but then we'd lose our weapon. We'd have to make it count. Otherwise she'd be furious and we'd be defenseless. If a knife is even enough to do anything against something like her in the first place, it'll be enough.
I'm just going to cover Mr. Seems to think I can do it.
Didn't you hear my warning a minute ago? She can't be trusted. Talking won't do you any good. Something tells me she isn't going to be very keen on talking anyway. You make your way to the bottom of the stairs. As you emerge, you find yourself between two loose rows of white wooden planks suspended in nothingness. A smattering of cobblestones visible against the inky black of the basement mark where the floor should be. forming vague pathways. At what seems to be the end of the room, they diverge in opposite directions, left and right. She could be anywhere, and there's nowhere for us to hide. We're completely exposed.
Are you really not going to comment on how weird this place is?
No, I'm not. Somebody needs to be the voice of reason here, and it certainly isn't you.
Excuse me, I'm being incredibly reasonable. You're the one who's just matter-of-factly describing whatever the hell we're looking at like it's an ordinary basement.
We're going to die down here.
I don't want to die again.
Please stop saying that. You're only going to make things worse. Just pick a direction and start moving.
I wouldn't give it too much thought if I were you. It doesn't really matter. Because either way you go, I'm going to find you.
Go left, go right, and left. Go left.
You turn to the left. A faintly outlined path lies before you.
There you are.
Oh god.
I told you I was going to find you.
As the princess approaches, your legs suddenly go numb. Your arms quickly follow.
This is it, isn't it?
And you brought your little knife with you again. Cute.
There has to be a way out of this. Think.
What did you do? Pull yourself together. She isn't supposed to be like this.
I wonder how many times I'll get to play with you before you break.
Your vision cuts out as your blood begins to coagulate. It's as if every part of your being is coming to a lurching halt. Heart, lungs, liver, nerves. Heart, lungs, liver, nerves. Your lungs pull in a desperate gulp of air as your eyes shoot back open. What are you doing? I'm working. Do you want this body to function, or do you want... And then experience stops once more as your body reapproaches death. Okay, whatever you were doing, please just start doing it again. You sure about that? Are you sure that's what you want, or do you want to interrupt me some more? You have seconds left.
Yes, I'm sure.
Heart, lungs, liver, nerves, heart. Again, your eyes shoot open as you gasp for breath.
Can't decide what you want to do, can you? Oh well, standing there gasping like a fish is more fun than dead. Even if you look ridiculous.
She isn't attacking us. Why? The why doesn't matter. She's already proven her ill intent. Don't lose sight of your mission. Your weapon is still in your hands. Strike at her and end this before it's too late.
I want to finish me off. What got me over for me? Prawie na dość wiemy. You don't want to take in the right. Короче, это та сцена, man.
Because I don't want to. And even if I did, I don't have to. Look at the way you're struggling to stay alive. It's taking everything you have to keep your heart pumping right now. And I'm enjoying the show.
The princess leans forward, bringing her masked lips close to your ear.
If I want to see you gone, all I need to do is break your concentration.
Heart, lungs, liver, nerves. She slowly runs her velvet glove across the base of your neck. It feels like static. And then... Shit, make her stop.
Hey, snap out of it.
Okay, deep breath. Deep breath, we're fine. Heart, lungs, liver, nerves, heart, your back.
One moment, and then you're gone. Just like that. Ah, and there's the fear.
She pulls away.
But that wouldn't be very fun, now would it? I've already done that.
If you want to work together, can you notice all organs sharing on the situation?
I am what I am. It's not my fault that you can't handle being around me.
It has to be enemies we can work together.
Would you look at that? You're suggesting exactly what I want. Somebody's ahead of the curve. I tried to leave while you suffocated, but that stupid cabin wouldn't let me. So I started to drag your body out with me, and then, well, you died before I could get to the door. And then I was here, and now you're here too. I don't think I can move without you. And dead doesn't as I love what we have going on, I have bigger plans than tormenting one poor little creature forever. I want to leave.
Nie miałem and if I let you out, well then...
No, definitely not. If you're what I need to leave this place, chances are you're pretty useful. I think I'll keep you right by my side. A little good luck charm to make sure I stay free. Don't worry, I'll make sure to take good care of you. I promise.
Mam nadzieję, że nie mogę. To jest...
Oh, we both know that you don't have a say here, so you should just look on the bright side. I'm not sure what the bright side is for you, but I'm positive you can find it if you look hard enough.
Purpose, which was what happens. That's the way to remain with your nightmare. Okay, let's get out of here. Find you in now.
What? No!
I knew you'd come around. Oh, this is going to be so wonderful.
No, I'm not going to let this happen. Before you can utter another word, your body stops moving, and, do you think you can just wrest control away from us? This body's barely functioning as it is. Doesn't the world end if we fail to stop her? Won't letting us die here just make it end faster? Shit. With a flick of the princess's wrist, the stairs slide back into place. I can't believe you're making me watch you damn everyone to torment and oblivion.
Go ahead. I'll be right behind you.
I don't trust having our back to her. You're not wrong, but maybe you should let me handle the feedback. Just focus on keeping us alive. Right. Besides, I get the feeling she's telling the truth. She needs us alive.
What? Are you scared of turning your back to me? You don't have to be worried that I'm going to do something bad. You're too important to me now. And besides, what if I lost track of you and dropped the stairs on accident? I wouldn't want that to happen. And I don't think you'd want that to happen either. So go on. Go ahead.
She urges you forward, like one might a reluctant pet. You place a shaky foot on the first step and begin your ascent from the basement. You can feel the static prickling of the princess on your neck, your limbs buzzing with pins and needles, an uncomfortable and constant reminder that you exist, and that your existence is so very precarious.
You're almost there.
The only thing left between you and the cabin is the now shut door to the basement.
J'en veux port.
It would be a real shame if it had locked behind you. Oh, you snake. There wasn't even a door when we first got here. The door was from last time. I told you we shouldn't trust him. I know he's messing with us, but you can't lose your cool. We need you right now. Remember? Yes, I remember. Of course I remember. Heart, lungs, liver, nerves. This is so frustrating. Heart, thank you. And you? You'd really rather us die down here than let her out? Of course I would. As much as I want you to have a happy ending, the fate of the world is a little more important, and you still have a weapon. You can still make this right.
I think that was...
You haven't even tried it. It'll open. You just have to give it a tug.
You pull against the door. The lock gently clicks open in response to your effort, and the door creaks on its hinges. This isn't right. That's not even the way it's supposed to swing. It's supposed to swing out. You're not nearly as powerful as you'd have us think, are you? Anyways, like he said, you're not really in control here, are you? I never said I was. If I was in control here, why would I need you to slay her? I don't know. Secret reasons?
The door is open. What are you dawdling for? It's time for us to go. The world is waiting.
Shit. The princess moves past you and into the cabin. This is it. This is your final moment to make things right. Kill her. I thought you wanted us to slay her. It's the same
thing. Do it. Do it now. Do it now, or everything is over.
Okay, what do we do?
I said, what do we do?
Oh, do you want to hear from me now?
Yes.
Well, I thought you needed me to run the autonomic nervous system.
We do, but this is important. Look, I'll even do it myself. Just tell us who to trust. Brain?
Heart,
Right, heart. Lungs?
liver.
Okay, thanks. I got it. Heart, lungs.
You're terrible at this.
I know, doing my best.
Yes, it's very hard to stay focused on running things when other people are talking to you, isn't it?
What are you doing?
Heart.
Finally, I can talk. Now, what were you asking me? Running everything kind of feels like popping in and out of consciousness. It's easy to lose track of things. They were asking you for your blessing to trust me. Oh, that's right, yeah. Fuck this guy. Trust him. Really? So you'd have them trust her? Oh, of course not. Can't trust anybody here but ourselves, but I guess that leaves us back where we started, doesn't it? I suppose if I had to make a choice, I'd pick the one that doesn't make our organs shut down.
Thank you for your gracious show of support.
But that's a marginal preference. I'll have to deal with him later. I'd just rather deal with him while our organs are intact. Whatever.
You heard what he had to say, so whether you trust me or not, killing her is still the best, nay, the only option you have worth taking.
All right, I'm done. You can let me take over again.
Finally, that was awful. I really don't know how you do it.
You've been standing there staring blankly for a while now. And I have to say my patience is running a little thin. So don't make a lady wait any longer, okay? Open the door.
The doorknob twists in your hand,
Wait your turn is
revealing the
once upon
forested
a world.
path beyond the cabin. You bastard. You've actually done it. You've actually nerves in heart.
It's so beautiful. I can't wait to ruin it. But it's so cold, too. It's itching against my skin.
The prison's exhausted slumps to the
Why
ground.
is it so cold?
Mão, chippy. Com licença. You do not get a chance to respond, nor will you ever. Attempt to leave.
She's gone. Where did she go? Should we try and find her? And there's that mirror again. Why is it here? Why now?
Of course, I'm scared. This is. It's going to be okay. Just move and move.
But it feels so bad. Like looking into it right now is going to be the end of everything. It's calling us. And not in a good way.
It's not the end. What is going on? It's going to be fine.
What is that supposed to mean? Whatever awful thing I felt before, it feels so much worse now. Can't even trust ourselves.
Mirror time. You approach the mirror. Silence as you reach forward. You're gone once again. Smooth away, but you can see. The decay you've withered. Find yourself in the one quiet once again. Sit to the cabin. You are the cabin. Sure.
I am a growing chorus of contradiction, a mass of tides ebbing and flowing all at once in more directions than my attention can bear to hold. To look at any one is to shift them all into something new, and to look away is to reshape them yet again. All of me is changing, and yet the rest of me is still the same.
You can't be a contradiction. Contradictions don't exist.
And yet my waters flow and my streets bustle. There are no words that can describe me into non-existence. There is no logic that can bind my multitudes. I am everything that you have known me to be, but I am also none of it.
How can this stand to be a contradiction? Times I go back, at least one of us already hurts the other.
It changes me, but it doesn't make me worse, nor does it make me care for you any less. Does it make you worse? Do you resent me?
Although Austin's this is Mary. If anything, I like him more. Means on one word.
How strange of you to ask me then.
You know what everything is so much.
My perspectives are shadowed. You have seen what I have seen, just as I have seen what you have seen. The angles of my vantage do not offer me hidden truths, and my attention is turned inward, except when you are here with me. Perhaps this will change when our work is done.
Still not good.
I care about your gifts, but I have no preferences to burden you with. Even if I did, I would never dare to tarnish our relationship by assuming myself above you. This one is filled with sadness, a doll abandoned to the company of her darkest impulses. She desires only companionship, but the only thing she knows is how to hurt. She will make for a tender heart. Do not mourn her. She has finally found her way home. The desires of my multitude thrive in endless competition with themselves, but none of them rise above their dance to influence me. I yearn for what I have always yearned for, our awakening. Other desires shrink in the light of knowing you and knowing me. The tides do not dictate where they are pulled. A river does not dictate its outlets. My gift to you is to let you choose your path, and my task is to treasure the gifts you bring me. We will know when we near our destination.
I know what everything is.
As easily as you can stand to be you. You are like me, even if you have chosen not to look at the corners of you that do not fit, even if you have chosen to ignore the brilliant contours of your soul.
Everything is this,
If that remains your choice when all is said and done, then you may try. But know that I do not wish you harm, even if you attempt to destroy me. I will be here when it is time for us to meet again.
Everything goes dark and you die. A tender heart. Bring the nightmare store.
You're on a path.
Yeah, blah blah blah, but...
Are you serious? No, you
We'll go to the cabin. Starts with maybe.
Then I guess we'll just have to see what happens. But a word of warning. If you go in prepared to hear her out, she could easily trap you in her web of lies. And the more you listen to her honeyed words, the harder it'll be to pull yourself out. Then each and every one of us is doomed. So sure, go, talk to her. See how that turns out for all of us. You make your way up the short path to the cabin. You'll find the princess within. We're not going to go through with this, right? She's a princess. Ignore him. He doesn't know what he's talking. The interior of the cabin is all displayed as your...
Implement, blah blah. Entramos.
The The door to the basement creaks open, her voice softly.
Hello? Is someone there?
It's hypnotizing. Don't let it fool you.
Jag tänker mig så.
You must have the wrong address.
Great job. You've given away the element of surprise. Good luck, hero. You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement. She's beautiful. I am begging you to stay focused. There's a lot riding on you here.
Hi. You were joking about coming to kill me, right? Do you think you could get me out of these chains?
Hold on, let's solve first.
Okay.
I don't know anything about you for all I know. I wasn't kidding when I said I wasn't here to kill you.
Is that why they threw me down here? But I don't want to hurt anyone. I like the world, I think. I don't remember much about it, to be honest. I've been down here for so long.
How long has she been locked away?
Did they tell you how I'm supposed to end the world?
I've been told enough. So, what are you going to do if I let you go out of here?
The princess hesitates before responding. She doesn't know. She's been down here too long to have any idea of what she'd do in another life. She knows what she'd do. She's just searching for whatever.
What I do doesn't really matter, right? At the end of the day, whatever the two of us have going on down here is about trust. Whoever sent you to slay me claimed I was a threat to the world, but they didn't tell. I don't trust that. And I don't think you do either.
She has a point.
So this shouldn't be about what I'd do if I got out of here, or me saying the right thing to convince you to save me. This is about how messed up this whole situation. Do you really think I can even end the world? Why? We both know that if there's people we can't trust in this situation, it's whoever.
Don't let her turn the tables here.
I don't know anything about you for all I know. I want to kill you. It's risky. I'm sorry, but I just can't risk it. This doesn't.
Thank you. You turn back to the stairs, intent on retrieving the blade in the
You'll regret this. I promise you. But go ahead. Run along and get whatever you're planning to get. But you'd better hope that I don't slip these chains before you make it back down here.
Slip these chains? She can't, right? She has to be bluffing, but hurry. You rush up to the first floor, grabbing the blade, both yours and the world's only possible salvation. Okay, if we're sure about this decision, I'll support it. I suppose we have a world to save after all. You slowly creep down the basement stairs. It's quiet. Where the princess sat only a moment ago, there's only a severed arm, its cooling flesh still chained to the wall. And she is nowhere to be seen. Is it just me? Or did this room get a lot bigger?
Oh, I think we're off now.
Why don't you come closer? I have something to show you.
Your eyes dart to the corners of the room. You don't see her. Where is she?
Investigate here. Close the door behind you.
You close the door behind you. Almost magically, its locks immediately click into place. Maybe they'll open if you finish the job.
Investigate here. Come on, others.
I can wait. I'm very patient.
Venture to the
You step
shadows.
into the shadows. Too late, you hear the quiet patter of feet against the basement floor, followed by the taut pull and sharp pain of tearing flesh as the princess lunges into you from behind and drags you to the floor. The ferocity overwhelms you, and as the princess rends flesh from bone, your limp fingers lose their grip on the blade. It slips from your hand, your one last means of defense, lying useless beside you in a pool of your cooling blood. I suppose you just lacked the will to fight back.
This is the end, isn't it?
I'm afraid it is. You shouldn't have let that fear creep into your heart. You had the upper hand, and now look at you. Everything goes dark,
And you die.
and you die.
The beast.
You're on a path in the woods. You're here to slay her.
Bim bum bum bum. She's going to come again.
People don't die twice. You haven't even met the princess, and I hardly think she'd be capable of killing someone as skilled and courageous as yourself. If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way. If he doesn't remember what happened, then something else must have trapped us here. You're not trapped here. Nobody's forcing you to do anything, though the only sensible thing for you to do right now is march up to that cabin and slay the princess.
This the opposite of the cabin. Sure.
A warning before you go any further. She will lie. Does a cat lie to a cornered mouse when it plays with its freedom? Or is it just acting out its nature?
I don't see why that matters. A lie's a lie, and if anything, she's the one who's cornered.
She could have gotten out of there whenever she wanted to. We should trust nothing that she tells us, only what we hear and smell.
That's a very roundabout way of saying that you should listen to me and take this seriously.
Maybe. The interior of the cabin is ruinous and dilapidated. It feels like no one has lived here for a long time, wind rushing in through cracks and holes in the wooden walls. The only furniture of note is a termite-eaten table with a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement.
That's because there isn't a mirror. There's a table, the blade sitting on the table, and the door to the basement. There's nothing else in here. There's definitely a mirror.
There isn't. What a strange thing to lie about. Maybe he doesn't see it, much like he hasn't seen what's already happened. Exactly.
Approach the mirror.
You walk up to the wall next to the basement door. It's a wall. There isn't much to see here.
This really isn't funny.
You reach forward and rub your hand against the cabin wall. I hope you know how ridiculous you look right now. But it was there a second ago, and now it's gone.
What?
You take the blade from the table. It will be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon. The door to the basement creaks open, revealing what's left of an old wooden staircase. It's still sturdy enough that you can make your way down in one piece, though you'll have to be mindful of holes. The air seeping up from below is oddly warm and wet, as if you're descending into a jungle. If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably be doing her a favor. She growls up the stairs.
I can smell you.
She sounds almost feral, impatient, or maybe eager. You carefully make your way down the stairs. The last step gives way to the damp earth floor of a starlit pit. The walls are obscured by an impenetrable darkness, giving the illusion that the room might stretch on forever. You brush against the wide leaves of plants that surround you on all sides, seemingly the only living things that occupy this strange underground wilderness. The jungle is pressing in on us, hiding her from view. She could be anywhere. You see only a flash of the princess before she scurries away into the underbrush, dragging her heavy chain behind her. Remember, she's just a princess.
She is certainly not just a princess.
You're not helping. It doesn't matter what she is. It only matters what she does. Her shining eyes appear between the leaves, staring hungrily at you from the darkness.
I can hear your heart pounding from the bottom of the stairs, fledgling. You're right to be terrified. I'm so much more than you. And a little splinter clutched in trembling hands won't save you from me.
A shiver rushes up your spine and pulls you upright. The air's shifting. She's getting ready to pounce. Move, now.
Where? Do you that quick? She's in chance again, we're fine. You're about to tap me and I can't see it to you. We don't have to kill each other. Another right.
Anywhere.
Oh, que caralho.
There's a shift in the humid air, and something enormous, the princess, lunges from the shadows, her maw unhinged and dripping, her eyes fierce and full of hunger. She is too quick to outrun, too nimble to outmaneuver, too determined to overpower. This is her domain. You are devoured. I guess that's it then, isn't it? Unfortunately for you, no. This isn't it. You are in a dark and caustic place. A thick, fibrous lining constricts around you, its slick surface impossible to grip. Your hands scrabbling uselessly at your surroundings as they compress in on you. Your lungs can barely expand in such a tiny space. Not that the humid, finite air grants you more than a few shallow breaths at a time.
You spoke when you needed to act.
The liquid pooling beneath you starts to seep into your skin. You itch, then sting, then burn as the acid begins its slow work.
When I killed you, I tried to leave this place, but it wouldn't let me. You belong down there, it screamed at me. The world is better off without you in it.
The flesh around you rumbles as the princess begins to move, her thundering footfalls twisting you helplessly about. Your skin protests as the corrosive liquid sloshes around you, but there will be no respite for you in sight. The burning grows stronger, and you can feel layers of you being peeled away.
But you don't belong down here. You came from somewhere else. You came from out there. So I consumed your dead heart, and I carried it in my throat, and I draped what was left of you on my back, and I threw myself against that door.
She stops, her muscles tensing around you, and through the muffling layers of her flesh, you hear the whine of straining metal. With a pop, she lurches forward, your body lurching right along with her. Her chains. She's loose.
But even then, it denied me freedom. You cannot fool me by draping yourself in decay. I know your true nature, and it is suffering.
Gravity pulls at you as you're hefted upwards, the distant creaking of ancient wooden steps barely audible over the thudding of the princess's heart.
And then it was gone, and I was here. A new enclosure, a nicer cage, but still a prison. I learned from my wounds. You're alive now. We can leave together.
Does that work? Could she free herself if we're alive in here? Do you really need me to give you a definitive answer for you to understand that the situation is grim? Stop her. Do something. You still have that steel claw. Tear through her before we are her. Survive. Or we could use it to make this quick for ourselves. If she needs us in order to leave, we could at least deny her that. That is a bad thing to do.
Can you talk to the cabin? You could have asked me for some sport deal with steel claw. Fine, you can leave. You can just let me go.
Oh, can I?
The click of what you presume to be a door ripples through the layers of suffocating flesh.
That wasn't so hard.
You feel her take another massive step, and then another, and then it's gone quiet, hasn't it?
You can feel up churning in the forms around you, and then a wet tunneling before you to a place that is nowhere at all.
I guess I don't need you to be a part of me. How lucky for you. This place is cold.
Yeah, I vou morrer quando sair do da cabin. Yeah, I'm getting this. Before you say anything to us,
She's gone. Where did she go? Should we try and find her? Oh, there's that mirror again. Why is it here? Why now? What is that supposed to mean? Whatever awful thing I felt before, it feels so much worse now. Death. Real death.
Just a mirror. You approach the mirror. It's your reflection. Sounds as you reach forward. Again, once again, mirror always makes them weave, but you need to see what's in it. The remains. You're unraveled. Find yourself in the wall quiet once again. É, já falo com os braços cegas, agora acaba. Not sure.
There's a world beyond the endless walls of the long quiet. We're supposed to be there. Do you know what we'll find out there?
Is that a rhetorical question? Do you know? Do you want to tell me?
Rhetorical. I am not rhetorical. I have only known these spaces, and I have known flickers of the lives you've brought me, short and violent and full of passion. But all of those flickers end where the long quiet begins. I'm asking you because I cannot know your mind. Do you know what we'll find out there?
There's trees and stars and there are people. Think at least there's supposed to be people.
There is a warmth and sadness in me at the thought of people. Fresh tears on a winter's day. They are not like us. They do not last.
Do you think that anything is relative? Do you think that we're real?
We are real. Nothing is an idea that dwells in the absence of something. But nothing cannot exist on its own. And because of that, nothing can't exist.
Yeah, it was on this vessel.
This one is consumed by instinct, a predator pushing those around her to adapt. She will make for a cunning heart. She wishes me to devour you, to make you a part of myself, but she is only a voice. Do not mourn her, for she is part of something greater.
You know what's going to happen. You will weep.
If I did, I would already be awake.
You send me back, I'm not alone. There are voices that speak to me. Some of them are me, but one of them is something else. I call him the narrator. And he wants me to kill you. Do you have a narrator? Yes.
No, their thoughts are quiet. Do you think your narrator lives in the spaces beyond?
He does, but I don't know why. But I know this. He does, but I don't know where I'm going. Fine, we're going to have answers. That's when I find we're going to kill him. Is we're going to keep that to yourself.
Do not look to one who fears me for your truth. The only answers worth knowing are those we can find within ourselves.
The rest is on it.
One, whatever you bring me next will be enough, and then gravity will pull the others back to me. I will be singular, a final multitude.
This is the last time to anything you would like me to bring. Now we're going to fuzz on this. If this is the last stage before your completion, then I'm not going back. I'm just going to stay.
These gifts are a conversation, and each one shows me the contours of your heart. The only thing I want to see is what you choose for me when the thread is fully drawn.
You know we're going to do this.
We may fight, and we may not. But not all fights end in destruction, just as not all conversations end in peace. Even if you destroy me, it will have been worth it to finally know what I am. and to have had the chance to know you. The next time I see you, each of us will finally know what we are.
Ok,
I will be here, waiting for you.
tungas. Era tenho que usar quando eu dei. Mas mesmo. A Cunninghart. Bring the beast to her.
You're on a path if you're here to
Pau,
slay.
said princess. Yeah. Yes. Bem. Deixaste por aqui. I guess. Saves. Automatic saves. Interessante. Se calhar há mais amanhã. I guess é só mais um. Já foi bastante até. Há mais amanhã talvez.